Hi, your friendly neighborhood gypsy here, coming at you today with a very colorful painting called Hummingbird. Now, hummingbirds are fascinating creatures. They're very, very fascinating. When I was a zookeeper back in the 1980s, I once transported a ruby-throated hummingbird from the El Paso Zoo in El Paso, Texas, to the Abilene Zoo in Abilene, Texas. That is a total of 450 miles. And because I was one-on-one with that hummingbird in close proximity, I got to hear it hum almost the entire way. It don't hum through its throat. It's the wings that cause the humming sound, and it was just flitting around the cage that it was in almost on the whole trip, and I could hear the hum going on. It's like it almost never rested. We had to keep nectar in the cage for it and what have you, because they do have a very high metabolism and they burn up energy very quickly. But anyway, once you've been in that close of proximity to a hummingbird, you really can't help but become fascinated by these amazing small creatures. Hopefully you become fascinating. Hopefully you become fascinated with this painting. It only uses five colors, but we're going to make those five colors turn into other colors as we're using them. And you'll find out how we do that when we start doing the painting. So what you say, I stop talking and we start doing the painting. Let me minimize myself and we'll get going. And the idea is to go smaller and smaller and smaller. And there I am up in the corner. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion. No, wait a minute, that's something else. Okay, let's get started with this painting. Now, we're going to go through every single thing that you're going to need to do the painting. So first thing is you're going to need a 1-inch brush. You're going to need a number 6 or a number 8. This is a number 6 right here. And you're going to need a liner brush. You will need rinse water, my favorite rinse water mug, in case you can't tell. You're going to need something to drink. This was Mad Hatter's favorite cup, and so I always use it whenever I'm doing artwork. I'll have my drink in that cup right there. You don't want to die of thirst, you know, while we're doing the painting. You're going to need lamp black. You're going to need titanium white. You're going to need calypso blue. You're going to need dragon fruit. You're going to need true blue. You're going to need fire orange or you're going to need bright orange. In this case, I have bright orange because they were all out of fire orange at Michael's when I went there. So I'm going to use bright orange on this one. And you're going to need Kelly green. Those are all the colors that you need for this. Like I said, 5 colors. We don't count the white and the black as colors. You got 5 colors right here. Okay? So that's what you're going to use to create this painting. You're also going to need a rag to wipe your brush down. And of course, you're going to need your canvas with your stenciled hummingbird on top of it. Hopefully you got your canvas prepared ahead of time so that, you know, I don't have to wait on you to do that. If I do have to wait on you to do that, everyone else is going to have to wait too. So we don't want to do that. So hopefully you stencil this ahead of time. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our 1-inch brush. I'm going to move these brushes out of my way. And we're going to get that Calypso blue. Now, you notice that I use Deco Art Americana paint. You can use any craft paint. I recommend this. It's a really good thick paint. Looks really good on the canvas. Folk Art is also a good one. If you can't get this one, get Folk Art. It's a good one. Annie's is a good one if you can find that one. Just try not to get a cheap paint. Get a quality paint. Okay? You want it to look pretty for years to come. So shake up your paint. Always shake up your paint before you try to pour it out because it does settle. So we're going to get that Calypso blue and we're going to put it on there. And what we're going to do first is we are going to fill in all this area here. So we're just going to take that Calypso blue and we're just going to start filling. Just brush it in there. Just brush it in. Now as you start filling it, you see how dark that is, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to take some of the titanium white. Put some titanium white on here. You're going to grab a little titanium white, and to make that look lighter, you just mix the titanium white in it. And just start, don't try to blend on the canvas, don't try to blend these two colors. You actually want a little bit of difference in between the two colors. So you're going to grab the Calypso blue, put it on there, grab a little titanium white, brush over with it, and just kind of brush it in there. You just, kind of an abstract sort of thing. Outline your hummingbird. Get a little more white right here and go right in here with it, kind of sweep it up in this area here, just like so. And you just want to kind of, you just want this variation of blue color in there. Like I said, don't try to blend it on the canvas. That's not what you're going to do. You're just going to put it on there. You're just going to kind of brush and let those textures happen. You want those textures in there. It makes for a more interesting painting if you have the textures. Love texture. Texture's like, it's the thing. So you just kind of pick up some of that Calypso blue. Come up in here. If you don't have Calypso blue, you can use crystal blue. Crystal blue works really well. You can use that. Any light blue. If you can't find the exact painting, the paints that are on the supply list, get something that's close. It don't have to be exact, okay? Each painting is going to be different. You never ever want your painting to look like your neighbor's painting. And I'm going to go ahead and add here while we're talking about this. You never want to judge your painting with your neighbor's painting. This is your painting. It isn't their painting. It's your painting. And your painting is going to be your painting. Their painting is going to be their painting. Maybe they're sitting over there trying to judge their painting by what you're doing. Maybe they were looking at your painting and going, man, they are really good. I wish I was that good. That's not the way to look at it. Okay? Each person has their own style. My style is not your style, and your style is not my style. I can show you these basics here. I can show you how to start getting all this in here. But that doesn't mean that your style is going to be my style, okay? I might mention here, I'm not doing it on this painting. I don't have it here because I know where I'm going with this. But it might help you also if you go ahead and you do a print off of the finished artwork so that you can look at it, so that you can glance over at it and, you know, see what's going on and where you want your colors at. Like I said, I already know where my colors are going. And so I'm just going to kind of guide you through this. But for you, it might be helpful for you to have a printout sitting, you know, next to your area where you can look at it and go through it. So just continue on. Just getting your blue in there. Don't worry if you override the feathers a little bit. That's perfectly fine. Just kind of work it in there. Don't hesitate to change it up a little bit. Now, you know, I'm doing a blue background, and the example painting is a blue background, but that don't mean you have to do a blue background. Maybe you like purple. Okay, do a purple background. Maybe you're into red. Do a red background. Maybe your favorite color in the entire world is gray. Do a gray background. It don't matter. You can do whatever color background you want. You don't have to just, because I'm doing blue don't mean you have to do blue. You do whatever you want to do. It's your world, baby. You know, we're just passing through it. So you go ahead and get in there and make it your world. Make that background whatever color you want to make. So we're just going in here and we're just kind of touching it there. I'm going to get all that in there and make myself happy with it. Like I said, this is a really fun painting, and it's a very colorful painting. That's part of the thing that makes it fun. But it also has all these textures. If you've painted with me before, you know we've done a little bit of texture, but this one, man, this is like texturific. You got a whole bunch of stuff going on here with this one. Okay, Now you see I have all the blue in there, right? I'm really happy with how it all looks. Really pleased with it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that true blue, looks like I put a little bit too much crystal blue out there, but that's okay, we'll use some more of it. Take that true blue, and we are going to add a little true blue in here. Don't clean your brush out. Leave what's on your brush on your brush. Just kind of go in here and kind of brush some of that true blue in. It's kind of, see how I'm just kind of brushing and then kind of feather it out. Feather it out a little bit. Just like that. Just feather it out. Give it a little contrast. Maybe go over here a little bit and add a little bit of that in. Just kind of brush it in there. You just want a little bit in there. Just brush a little bit in. Give it a little contrast. I don't know, maybe I want a little darker down here. Let's put a touch up here. And just put a little touch of it up in there. All right, now, next thing I want you to do is I want you to take that Kelly green. Remember, always shake them. Shake them, shake them, shake them. Get a little Kelly green. And just don't clean your brush. Leave your brush as it is. Just kind of, I don't know, touch some areas in here. Just no biggie. Just kind of brush them out. Like I said, you want to do a little bit of an abstract thing here. Maybe we'll put a little Kelly green up in here. Just a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. I want to brush that out a little bit more. Just like that. Maybe, without dipping it in the Kelly green again, maybe I'll just put a little touch of Kelly green down in here. Just pick up some of that. Brush it out. Okay, so now we got this nice little abstract thing going on. I'm going to brush that out a little bit more. I just want that out just a little bit more. See how I'm just kind of lifting the brush? I'm kind of brushing it out there and lifting the brush. And we get that nice little thing going. I need maybe just a touch here. Just a touch. Just wake that up a little bit. There we go. I'll just feather it down back out over here, and I'll do the same thing up here. I'll just kind of feather that out. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to go ahead and put up my 1-inch brush here. Before we go any further, I want to go in here and I want to add kind of a running effect, kind of a running paint effect. Remember, this is kind of an abstract painting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the dragon fruit, which is a really nice pink color. There, see that there? Take that dragon fruit. And I'm going to take my number 8 brush, dip it in the water. I want to grab that dragon fruit and I want to put it up here. I want to get a little bit up in this area right here on my palette. Now this palette is just a $1.99 cutting board from Wally World. It's my favorite palette. I've used it a lot, as you can tell. Now see, I'm adding some of that white in there to kind of lighten that up a little bit. I'll get a little more water. I want this really runny. I want it really runny. A little more water. Get that just really runny. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is, and I'll hold it over towards the other camera. I'm going to hold this up here like so. And I'm just going to come along this edge right here, and I'm just going to kind of run that pink along this edge right here. See how I'm just running it there? I need to get a little bit more, but run it along that edge. And if I don't think it's watery enough, I'm going to go ahead and put a little more water with. I'm just going to barely dip the end of the brush, and I'm going to do a little water here. Just kind of touch it in there. I want to be real careful here with what I'm doing. You don't want too much, just a little bit of water there. Okay, then what I'm going to do, this is the fun part. We're going to take and tap this. We're going to get that to run. Tapping it, see where it's starting to run? Still not enough there though. We need that to really run pretty good. So I'm going to get a little bit more here, wet it down, get a little bit more, get that good and wet. I'm going to run along here some more. There we go. See how that's running right there? I'll run right here with it. I want that to really run. There we go. Now we will tap it. Just like that. All you're doing is tapping it. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. We're going to go on the bottom. And let's go, we'll go on this side here. So I'm going to take, run my pink mixture along there a little ways. Just like so. Then I'm going to tap it again. If I'm not liking how much it's running, I'll just go in, I'll wet down my brush, I'll hit my mixture, and I'll run it right here on the edge. I want this to run, so we need it good and wet. I'll tap it. There it goes. See the runs happening? This gives it a interesting little statement. Now, accidentally, which happens sometimes, you can see it on my hands right there, accidentally smeared some of my paint. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to take my 1-inch brush, I'm going to grab a little bit of that blue, I'm going to brush it back in over the areas where I smeared the paint at. Ooh, do I want a little bit in here? Yeah, maybe I do. Just because. I don't want to hit my stuff that I ran there, but I'll put a little bit right in there. Maybe grab a little bit of this crystal blue and lighten that up a little bit. Some white, maybe. Lighten that up just slightly. Yeah, there we go. Then over here where I kind of, ooh, I got paint boogers. There's paint boogers on there. That's when your paint is starting to dry and it kind of, you go over the top of it and it kind of rolls up a little bit. That's a paint booger. Don't try to wipe it off your nose or anything. It's on the canvas. There we go. Just brush that in. My one of my dogs is down here at my feet. His name's Kite. He got really concerned when he heard me pounding on the table. So he's down here to make sure I'm okay. Yes, Kate, I'm all right. I'm okay. He's my little smart guy. He's very, very intelligent. Okay. So, once we get that done, next thing we're going to do, and you can actually do this with a fork if you want. I'm not going to do it with a fork. I'm going to do it with a liner brush. But you can actually lay a fork down in your white paint. Just kind of lay it in your white paint and kind of do this with the fork and then press your fork on the canvas. Now I'm actually going to do this with a liner brush. I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to put a couple lines in here like so. And then we'll come back across. And I'm going to do the same thing, probably down in here. This is just to kind of add a little fun touch in there. I want to do something here. I'm going to put a couple of quick ones right in here. Just no big thing. Make it look like a hashtag or something. And maybe a couple over in here. And this is just to give it a little added oomph. Just something interesting to look at. Paintings should be interesting. I'm a firm believer in that. You don't want a boring painting. Don't have a boring painting. Don't have a boring life. Now you might recognize that from Vince from Slap Chop. But, I love those commercials. Anyway, yeah, just And then you can go in. If you have a palette knife, you can do it with palette knife. Palette knives are cheap. You can get them anywhere. Let me grab my palette knife if I can find it here. It's hiding on me. Just a little cheap palette knife, just like this. These are like, you can pick them up at Walmart or any place that sells art supplies. You can get a pack of these for about $4. Just grab some of that white paint. Just kind of throw some smears in there. Just so a few smears in there. Maybe a little bit up in here. Just gives you something a little interesting, some little blobs there. You know, something to just kind of add to what you're doing. Put a few little smears in there. You don't have to get carried away, but just, you know, drop them in there. All right. Now that you have that done, get your number 6 or your number 8, whichever one you're using. Don't matter, don't make a difference. Grab your blue. Grab that true blue. And go in here and do your feathers. Just fill those feathers in. Kind of treat it a little bit like a paint by number. You're just filling in each section. We're going to go in and we're going to fill in each section on this. There's another thing that I really, really like about this Hummingbird. Even though we're using paint, it uses a lot of the same techniques that I use when I tattoo, as far as applying color and what we do, how we blend the colors on the human canvas. It uses a lot of those same things. So you're just going to go in here and you're just going to fill in those tail feathers with that blue, just like that. It's no big thing, just go in there and just fill them in. Just get them put in there, just like that. Makes it very interesting. Now I think I would like to add some blue right in. Where do I want to add some blue at? Well, it looks good to me. How about, now remember, this isn't going to be like the example, okay? On the example, I'm going to bring it up here on my phone a second, just to show you. Let me get it here. Let me find it. I want to show you this real quick, just so that you know. If my phone will, my phone will load up here. Okay, where are we at? There he is. All right. So here's our hummingbird. Let me see if I can. Well, I can't pull him up. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm trying to bring it up there where you can see it. There you go. Okay, so you see our hummingbird. All right. You don't have to make it identical to that. You can do whatever you want to. This is your painting, okay? So you go anywhere you want to go with that. It's all up to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here underneath his bill, and I'm going to add some blue down in here, like so. Just like that. I'm going to add some blue in there. Okay. Then I'm going to go in here about, I don't know, about in here. And I'm going to, like little seeds, I'm going to put some little seeds in there. That's what I'm going to do. using that true blue. I'm going to put some little seeds in there. Now don't worry about any blending or anything right at this point. What you're doing is you're just applying colors, what you're doing. I think I'll bring a touch of blue right in here, like so. Now this might actually be the first place where you see some blending at, okay? So what we're going to do, I'm going to kind of touch in here with the blue, just a little bit. We'll get this Kelly green, okay? I'm going to come in here, I'm going to apply this Kelly green up and through here, right through here, like so. Just like that. I'm just going to apply with that Kelly green in there. We're going to ride that blue a little bit. I'm going to bring that blue down. I'm going to kind of brush it down into that Kelly green. A little Kelly green up in here, like so. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll go back in here. I'm going to take a little bit of that Kelly, just a slight bit of the Kelly green. I'm not going to get crazy, okay? And I'm just going to kind of lightly brush and just kind of let it fade out a little bit. See how I let it fade out there? Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to take, let me clean the brush. I almost forgot to clean the brush. We're going to come in and we're going to take some of our Calypso blue there, okay, and just kind of, you can see the places in between our little seeds right there. Just kind of touch it in those places. Okay, you can see some places here, just kind of touch it in those places, like so. Kind of touch it in. You want to add some more little seed in there, right over that Kelly green. Just kind of touch it in there, just a little bit. You're just going to touch it in, just like that. Then you're going to take it, and you're going to go here on these feathers, and on the inside edge of the feather, kind of brush that Calypso blue up until it just kind of peters itself out there. Okay, just on the inside of the feather. Just kind of go in there and brush it up till it peters itself out. Do the same over here. And I want you to do all this right now with this blue while you still have blue on your brush, because we're going to be going to some other colors here shortly. So you just want to come up in here and you just want to kind of brush that up in there. Just right on the edge of the feather. Once you get that brushed on the edge of the feather, without cleaning out your brush, what I want you to do is I want you to grab some of your white. Bring this back over here where you can see everything. I want you to grab some of your white, and right on this edge where the edge of your blue is, I just want you to come up here and go like that. Hannah Mae, no. Hannah, no. You just heard from my Hannah Mae Wiggle Butt of the Bug Tussle Wiggle Butts, and if you don't like that, you can kiss her wiggle butt. She is barking out the window. She has no idea whatsoever what she's barking at. She heard the dog across the street start barking, so she figures now it's her turn. And I have to remind her sometimes that it's not polite to bark at something you don't know what you're barking at. She don't always listen to me, but you know, apparently today she decided she's going to listen. So anyway, we're going to come up here and we're just going to bring that white up, just right on the edge of that Calypso blue that you did. And you can see how the darker blue kind of acts as a highlight once you do that. You come up in here, just like that. It honestly, that simple, nothing to it. I'm going to take a little bit of this white while I'm right in this area here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go into these seeds and we're going to kind of touch the center of the seeds. Just kind of touch them. Just go like that sound effect. I'm just going to touch the center of the seeds. Just do sound effects, you know, with your painting. See what type of interesting sound effects you come up with. So see, now I kind of highlighted those feathers up in there. You can see that highlight. Now I'm going to come here. I'm still got my blue going. I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to kind of like, you know, little feathers, right? We're just going to add some little feathers in there. Just like that. Put a few little feathers in there. All right. Now, again, grab a little bit of white. Don't forget you got these feathers in here, so you just kind of touch them. Just kind of just touch them a little bit. I'm going to come down here into this Kelly green and this blue that's down here, and I'm going to look for my blue. And where my blue is, I'm going to lightly touch that white in, where that blue's at. Just lightly touch it, just like so. Adds this nice little highlight to it. Put a little bit here on the edge. Now, we got the blue done. Next thing I want you to do, just to give it time to dry, take your liner brush, and this is just to give it time to dry while we're working on other things. I want you to grab some of the black, grab a little bit of the black, first thing I want you to do is I want you to go on the bill here, on the beak, bill, whatever it is, beak, I guess. That long thing that's coming off of its face that it drinks nectar with. Kind of just follow it up with the black. Just carefully stay on that straight line. Don't forget to point it at the end. Just get a little point at the end. Then go underneath here. Make a kind of triangle shape. Just make a triangle shape underneath there. Now the whole bottom of your beak or proboscis or bill or whatever you want to call it is all now black. Then we're going to go up here on the eye. We won't give this eye a chance to dry, so we're just going to fill in that eye. Just give him a black eye, just like so. Or her black eye, whatever she is, he is. Probably a male because it's really colorful. All right. So that will have a chance to dry because we're going to come back to that in a little while, but we need it. We really need it to dry. Actually, I'm gonna get a little more black. I'm looking at it here. We'll get a little more black, and on the bottom part of that bill, I want to go ahead and just kind of line. Just a little bit more. So I don't have a white separation down there. This doesn't have to be perfect. Don't try for perfection because it's not going to happen, okay? If you get perfection, hey, all more power to you. But you don't have to try for it. All right, get your number 8. And next thing you want to do is you want to grab your dragon fruit. You want to come in here on these upper wings, and you want to go ahead and fill in the upper wings just the same way you filled in those tail feathers. You want to fill in these upper wings. So you're going to come in here and you're just going to fill them in. Your blue has had a chance to dry up in there. If you pick up a little bit of it, that's fine. You know, but for the most part, you're going to find that the blue, before you ever came back to do this part, the blue already dried. Drued? That's what I'd say, drued. I don't believe druid is a word. Druid's a word. But we're not dealing with an ancient people here. We're dealing with a hummingbird. Maybe we'll do ancient people at some other time. Anyway, just come through here and fill in that pink. That pinkish dragon fruit. Let's get that all filled in. Just fill it in. You're going to keep coming down here and you're just going to keep filling that in. Just on all those feathers right there. Just fill those feathers in. just like that. Then you want to come here, you want to go right up in here, and just a little bit right in there. Then fill in up to your blue. Take it all the way up to the blue. Just like that. See how nice that's looking? Just want to come in there and do that. Just like so. I'll be using this in a second. Let's get this part done first though. Okay, right here. Take your pink and kind of brush it in like that. Just do that dragon fruit up in here like that. Be sure to get around the eye. But see how I kind of brushed in and how it kind of just feathers out right there? That's what you want to do. And then you want to do the same thing on the breast right here. You want to come in here and you just kind of want to brush it in. Just brush it in there. Just like so. Just brush that in. Just let it brush over the other colors that are there. If it brushes over the blue, that's fine. If it brushes over the green, that's fine. Just let it brush in, just like that. Okay, once you have that done, I want you to go back here to your white again. And I want you to go on each wing here. And all I want you to do is I want you to line each wing. So what you're going to do is you're going to come down here and you're going to do this. Like so. Grab your white. Start at the tip. Go concentrate towards the bottom of the wing. Feather. Wing feather. Wing feather. And concentrate towards the bottom and just kind of bring your brush down. Follow it down and let it fan itself out at the end. Just like that. Just kind of let it fan itself out. So you're going to do the same thing here. You're going to start at the tip. You're going to come down and you're going to let it fan itself out. I want a little more white up in here, so I'm going to just grab it. Come down here and start at the tip and let it fan itself out. Do it again. Here. Start at the tip and let it fan itself out. Just like that. Start at the tip. Let it fan itself out. Again, tip, fan itself out, tip, fan out, tip, fan itself out, tip, fan itself out, tip, fan itself out. If you want, you can go back in, which is what I'm going to do now. I want a little more white highlight in here, so I dip my brush in the white. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start at the tip. And I'm just going to lightly come down and let that fan out. See, I want a little more white up there at the tip. Do the same thing on this one. I want a little more white at the tip. I'm going to start at the tip. I'm going to come down. Let fan out. I still want a little more white there. There we go. We'll do the same thing on the one next to it. Want a little more white on the tip. That one's pretty good. That one's pretty good. I think I'll put a little white there. And then you got your wings highlighted. Now, once you do that, come back in with the white and right up against that blue. I just want you to go. It's just a real soft little movement, okay? Just kind of brush. Just kind of brush back. Just a little soft movement. Do it up in here. Just kind of brush back. Right up against that blue. Just kind of brush it back a little bit. Just kind of brush it back. Do it up in here, just kind of brush back a little bit. Let's give it a little brush back. Just giving it some detail is what you're doing. Kind of curve up right in here, like so. Now you're going to take your white, and you're going to come into the breast here, and you're just going to kind of dab in there. Just want you to kind of just dab it. Just dab it. Just like that. Just dab it up in there. Then come in here. Just want you to kind of think feathers. Think feathers. Just kind of let those feather a little bit. Grab some of your dragon fruit. I want you to dab again over what you've already dabbed using that dragon fruit. Then come back in with the white again and dab with the white again. We're creating layers here is what we're doing. And it'll create a more interesting painting by creating these layers. Okay, so once you get that done, our next step is we need to go to the orange. Now, like I said, fire orange is okay. Couldn't find the fire orange, so I got a bright orange. Put the bright orange down here. I'm going to need some more white. Get the white. Don't you like those strips? Don't those look good? I like them. Alright. You're going to get your white. Just get a little bit of white. Clean your brush out. Now, get some of your bright orange. What you want to do, you want to come in here and you want to carefully fill in the head. Do not go down into the beak, okay? Leave that open. But fill in the head. Any place where you see white except for in the beak, just kind of fill that in. And if the paint goes on thick, that's fine. You want it thick. You want it to go on thick because of what we're going to do, okay? So you're going to go in here and like on the wing right here, we're just going to come in like so. And we're just going to fill that orange in. We're just going to throw that orange all the way in there. You notice how I'm kind of going one direction with the brush. The reason why I'm doing that is because it'll give it a feather effect. You may not be able to see it on the camera, but when you look at your painting, when it's done, you're going to have this nice, really nice feather effect. It's going to look just like feathers up in there. Okay. So now, once you get that done, grab your white. Get a little bit of your white, okay? And what you want to do is you want to come in here, kind of brush that white back, away from that beak. Think feathers when you do this, okay? So you want to just kind of brush the white in there, right? Just kind of brush the white in. That's all you're doing. You're just kind of brushing it in. Brush that white in there. Get it brushed in. Brush it in. And once you've got your white brushed in there and you're happy with where your white's at, I think I want mine a little more muted. I don't want it quite as bright as what I have it right now. I'm going to mute that white down a little bit, and all I'm going to do is just brush back over it. It'll pick up that orange, and it'll mute that white down. There we go. Just like that. Now once you get your white in there, what I want you to do, without cleaning your brush, you should have a little bit of dragon fruit left. I want you to kind of mix that orange in with that dragon fruit that you have left. Pick it up there. If you don't have enough dragon fruit, just get a little bit more. I don't have enough there for what I want to do. So just grab just a tiny bit more. See, I just put a drop on there is all I did. I'm going to mix this up. Just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here on these edges. I'm going to feather in. Just like that. I'm going to do the same here. Just right on the edges. I just want to feather in. I want to feather it back into the orange. Just picking up a little bit of that pink color. Feather it back into the orange. Just like that. And it gives a really, really nice effect. It's a beautiful effect. Okay, and I think I'm gonna, while I still have this in my brush, I'm gonna come in here and feather this edge out right here, down at the bottom of the breast. We'll just feather that with some of that orange and dragon fruit mixture right in there. Kind of bring that in. Grab a touch of white, just a touch of white. I'm going to go ahead and create that feather effect. You see how I did that feather effect? I touched it. I just barely touched the canvas. Here, I'm going to do it right here so that you can see it. I got a little bit of paint on the tip of the brush. There isn't much on there, okay? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to lightly touch the canvas. I'm just going to just barely touch that canvas. I'm going to flick my wrist up as I'm doing it. See that really nice little feather effect that it gave? I want to do it up in here. I want to grab some of it up in there. Just a little bit of white on the tip of the brush and then just kind of brush up. Creates this beautiful effect. I'm going to add a few little dots in here. Put some dots in here. Maybe one right in here. Put those little dots in. Add some dots, just a few, not many. You don't need to do many. Just add a couple of dots here and there. Maybe a couple up in here. Right up in here, I'll add a couple of dots. Maybe right in there. All right. Now, here where the Kelly green comes into the blue feathers, have just a little bit of white paint on the end of your brush. Don't clean your brush. Why don't you just kind of just lightly brush. Just lightly brush it. And if you get too much like I just did, just grab your Kelly green and brush back over it. You can't remember. Ooh, I like that. Okay, I'm gonna play with this for a second. Remember, you cannot make a mistake. You flat out cannot make a mistake. I like that. I'm gonna grab just a little bit of this Calypso blue. I'm gonna brush in right there at the top. See, I just changed the whole look of the Hummingbird. Just with a couple of strokes, just because I kind of liked what I accidentally did. You cannot make a mistake. Cannot do it. I promise you. All right. Once you are like completely satisfied, of course, nobody's ever really satisfied, but once you're satisfied, then your next step is going to be to outline this. And I'm going to do one more thing before I say I'm satisfied. I'm going to grab some more of that calypso blue, and what I'm going to do without cleaning out my brush, I'm going to come right in here. I'm going to pick up some of that orange, and I'm going to kind of blend it back up into there. I want to pick up some of that orange right in there. See that orange? Blend that back up into there, and then I'm going to grab some of that white. We're going to go in here, and I don't want to lose the orange, but I want to add just a touch of white in there, just a touch. See, we picked up some of that orange in there. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. See how nicely that works out? Now, we need to outline this. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to get our liner brush, and we're going to get the white. We got some white over here that we can use. Right there. And we're going to come up here on the top of the beak. What you want to do is very carefully and very lightly follow it down to the very tip. Just like that. Grab some of your black if you need to. Lightly right there on the tip, just kind of give it an accent. Just highlight it a little bit more. Just like that. Take a touch and just touch. Just give a little dot right there. Don't have to be outstanding. You don't want it prominent. You just want a little dot right there. Otherwise, how's he going to breathe, right? Then clean your brush out, and let's give that eye some life. So we're going to take some of that white. We're going to go right in here at the top of the eye, and we are going to add a white dot. Just like that. See, it gave it time to dry so that you could do that without having to worry about picking up the black in there. That easy. Now, getting the black again, we're going to add some feather highlights using black. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, and maybe we'll just do some little commas. Just some little commas. Add some feather highlights, just little commas. Do some over in here, maybe just like so. Maybe oh, I don't know. Maybe we'll add a little something right in there. Do some little commas, just kind of every once in a while. Some places, just come in and add some commas. Give these little feather highlights. Just want these little commas in there. Just like so. Now when you're sitting at home and you're not watching me on the video and you're just doing a painting on your own, maybe you want to do this painting several times and try and do it in different ways. Just put on some music, put on a movie on the TV, favorite TV show, whatever, and paint and enjoy. Just lose yourself. A lot of times when I'm painting, I'll put on a movie, or I put on a documentary. A lot of times I'll put on a documentary, and I listen to the documentary because I don't necessarily have to look at it to enjoy it. I can listen to it and enjoy it. And you can do the same thing. I mean, I'm not saying, do a documentary just because I do. I'm just saying, just music or your favorite TV show or whatever, So after you put in a few little highlights, I may have Got a little crazy with my highlights, but that's okay. I like highlights. Once you get your little black highlights in there, then it's time to outline it. Okay, so you're going to take your brush, and if you're not comfortable with this, you can use a Sharpie or you can use a paint pen that has a nice point on it. But take your brush, get a little black on it, and get a point on the end of your liner brush. Just turn it until you have a nice little point on there. That's all you have to do. Don't want a whole lot of paint on there. What you're going to do is you're going to go in here and you're going to outline this. So you just kind of stroke it in. Just very carefully stroke it in. You just need a little bit of paint. You don't want a whole lot of paint. Just kind of stroke it in. Just follow your bird all the way around. See, I missed this area right in here, but that's okay. All I'll do is I'll just make it thicker. Just like that. We're going to come through here and we're going to have fun. We're going to outline this whole bird. Just like so. I'll come in here now on the internals, on the insides. I might see areas where I want to add just, a touch of black, like right there. I want to add a little touch of black there, and maybe I want to add a little touch of black here. But I'm not going to outline the stuff on the inside. I'm only outlining the outside. So you're just kind of coming up. You're just going to outline it. Just like so. And down here, I may come in here like so. Bring this up to here. And right where this joins in, I might add just a little bit of black in there. Just to create this visual effect of feathers. Just add a little black in there. Hummingbird is one of the most aerodynamic little creatures in the entire world. When God made the hummingbird, I think he threw away the mold because he realized that he had created this beautiful bird that was like no other bird, and he didn't even want to try to make anything similar. I mean, you look at a hawk or an eagle or a condor, they all have something in common, right? You look at any of the rat types like an ostrich or an emu or a rhea, they all have something in common. What other bird in the world do you know that is anything like a hummingbird? There isn't. The hummingbird, even though there are different species of hummingbirds, like I mentioned earlier, the ruby-throated hummingbird, but there's also other hummingbirds. The hummingbird is unique unto itself. There is no other bird species that even comes close to being what the hummingbird is. So yeah, I think God kind of looked at it and said, look, I just did perfection. No need to try to repeat this. I kept working on the other ones till I felt I had them right, but this one, man, I had it right first time out of the box. So we end up with our little hummingbird. Being perfect on the canvas. And perfect in the wild. These tail feathers, as you can see, they're a bit of a challenge. They are definitely a bit of a challenge. I saw something here a minute ago that I definitely want to do, but I'll worry about it as soon as we get everything outlined here. So just keep outlining till you get it all done. The outline does not have to be absolutely perfect, by the way. If you're sitting there trying to get a perfect smooth outline, you're doing the wrong thing. You want it outlined. It's okay if color shows through it. That's absolutely fine. That is not a problem. All right. I think I want to add a little right there. Maybe here and here. So let's get the head outlined. Start right in here. We'll just come up here. We'll be real careful with the head. Head's tricky. This is very, very tricky, but we'll be careful with it. Just come around. Come. My brush is starting to. I tried to dip that in my water. My brush is starting to get a little dry, so I'm going to take and come in here on the water, moisten it up a little bit, then come back down in here. There we go. Now it's too wet. I love that when that happens. First it's too dry, then it's too wet. Can't be like Goldilocks and the Three Bears and be just right. Okay, so we're just gonna follow the beak all the way down. Make sure you can still see that white till it comes to the point. Just like so. Then we'll come up here and we'll do these feathers. I'm going to add a little touch of black on the edge of each one of these. Come in here, I'm going to add a little bit of black there. And I'll do the same thing here. I'm going to add a little touch of black on the edge of each one of these. Just like so. Then I'm going to go ahead. You might not be able to see this because I am right-handed, but we'll do the best we can. I'm going to come up in here. I'm going to outline each one of these feathers. That line one a little thick, but actually looks kind of good, so I'm not going to worry about it. We'll come down here. And we'll join in right there. Then we'll do the same with this one. We're going to come down, follow the edge of the feather, and come down like that. Do the same over here. We're going to follow the edge of the feather. I think I need to add a little line right in there. One in here and one in here. You know, you see these things as you do them. And if it feels right to do it, just do it. If you're looking at it and it goes, I think I need put something right there, then by all means put something right there. Definitely do that. Don't ever hesitate. Don't overthink it. That's where a lot of people make their mistake when they're doing a painting. They overthink it. Just, if you see something and it feels right to do it, then do it. Seriously, do it. So we're coming. I'm going to go ahead and turn my canvas right now because I don't want to put my hand over wet paint. I'm going to come down here. Do this. Just keep outlining these feathers here. If you feel like doing this hummingbird by just doing it in blobs of paint and that feels right to you, well, then do it in blobs of paint. Remember, it's your painting. It don't make a difference what anyone else thinks. It's your painting. I'll tell you a little secret, which you'll learn if you paint long enough. You're never going to be totally satisfied with anything you do. Never ever. You might have people look at it and go, oh, man, that is so beautiful. And you're looking at it and going, it could have been better. That's going to happen. And that's okay. That just means that you are striving to always be better. Don't let someone tell you you're a perfectionist just because you might not be totally happy with the painting you did. You're not. What you are is someone that's striving to be better, do it better all the time. Okay, so I got my feathers all outlined. I'm going to go ahead and thicken that up right there. Thicken this one up a little bit. But never let anybody tell you, that you're trying to be a perfectionist. You're not. You're just, what you're doing is you're trying to go in and you're trying to be the best you can be. Now, there's a couple of things I'm going to do here, just because I think it needs it. First thing is, I want to use the darker pink, the darker dragon fruit, without it being diluted anywhere. And I want to add just a little bit of it down in here, like so. Just a touch. I think I want to add a little bit right back in here like that. Just a touch. Nothing major. I'm going to come here on these edges, right here. I think I want to add a little bit on these edges. I'm going to come up in here, add a little bit right in there. I'm going to come around the eye just a little bit more, just a touch more. Darken it up just a little bit. Just like that. Yeah, I like that. Then what I'm going to do, what I saw a while ago, remember I made the comment, oh, I saw something? Well, what I saw was that our hummingbird does not have any feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the bright orange. I'm just going to come down in here where the feet would be, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to give him feet. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a kind of horseshoe shape. I'm just going to come up here, make this horseshoe shape. Right in there, like that. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of the white after I make the horseshoe shape, and I'm going to go over the horseshoe shape with the white. Just like so. Notice I'm just using the liner brush. I just made that little horseshoe shape right there, right? That's all I did. Then clean out the brush. Grab a little bit of black here, just a tiny, tiny touch of black. And we will touch the inside of that horseshoe shape with the black. We'll touch the very top edge of it, just like that. And then we'll come back in here and we'll touch this back side. And we just gave our little guy a foot. Just real simplistic, you know, nothing major. You don't want to completely draw the eye to it. We'll grab a little bit of white. And where I put these darker edges in, I'm going to lightly, just lightly touch right on the edge of those. We do the same thing here. I'm going to grab a little bit of white. I'm going to lightly, just lightly touch right on the edge, just like that. And you know what? With the exception of signing this bad boy, I believe we have a finished painting. So now I'm going to sign it. And I'll just use white because we already have white here in the canvas, so I'm just going to use white. And those of you that painted with me before, you know how I do this. I'm going to come across like this. We'll make a line right across here like so. This is right there. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to make a curve like this, and I'm going to bring it right back down again, just like that. Then I'm going to bring a line here. I'm going to bring a line here, which makes my A, J-A. Then I'm going to come up here. I'm going to make the top of my G, like so. Since this is the year 25, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go 20. I'm going to make my 5. Just like that. And I signed the painting. Painting's been signed, the painting's done. And you, my friend, have created a hummingbird. Let me make myself big here. That, my friend, is your hummingbird. You did it. Let me angle it here so that you can see it. That's your hummingbird. You made your hummingbird. This is my hummingbird. That's not your hummingbird. This is my hummingbird. But you made a hummingbird. Now you can also, on these gallery stretch canvases, you can also go in here and paint these edges to give it a more finished look, which I recommend you do. Just grab whatever paint you have on your palette, go in here and paint your edge. Just go in there just like that and paint that edge. Just, you notice I'm using pink right here because there was pink that we overran right there, but paint your edge. I like to use a whole blend of different colors when I do this because it looks kind of cool, and it has a different feel to the painting when you do that. But you just go in, paint that edge, and give that finished look, that you want. Now, when you get right to the very edge, you just want to go really careful because you don't want to override into your painting. But you do that all the way around. Do that all the way around your painting, and it will give it a very finished look. It's I don't do a gallery stretch canvas without doing that. Now the difference, so that you know the difference between a gallery stretch canvas and another canvas, it's really simple. Cheaper canvases, and when I say cheaper, I mean, you know, you might pay less for them. It don't necessarily mean that it's a bad canvas, but most of the time, it's not really something that you want to use, I'll be honest with you. unless you're going to frame. Difference between a gallery stretched canvas and a cheaper canvas is the cheaper canvas will be stapled on these edges here. Gallery stretch is stapled on the back. You can see the staples there on the back of that. That's a gallery stretch canvas. And it's just a cleaner, nicer look. It really is. So when you go to get a canvas, just get something that's going to be clean and nice. Well, there you have it. We did a hummingbird. It's an interesting hummingbird. And it's your hummingbird. You know, you're going to make it the way you want to make it. I made it the way I wanted to make it, and that's all that really matters. Just remember, and I cannot stress this enough, never ever judge your painting by someone else's painting. It's your painting, it isn't their painting. Okay? That's important. So, our next one that we're going to do, we're going to go to Paris. The next one is going to be Bonjour Paris, and we are going to do that on, let me look here so I can tell you. So I can tell you truthfully, I don't want to tell you incorrectly. We're doing Bonjour Paris, I believe on the 20... That May? What am I doing in May? Should be in May. we're doing Bonjour Paris on the 28th. Is that right? We're not doing anything. Okay, we did. We're doing Bloom and Bottle on the 20. No. See, I'm so confused here. Where are we at right now? So we're doing Bloom and Bottle on the 8th of February. We are going to do, we did Bloom and Bottle on the 8th of February. I got to back up here and take a look. On the 8th of February, we did Bloom and Bottle. Today's the 21st of February, and we did the Hummingbird. I get confused sometimes. Our next one is going to be Bonjour Paris, and that's going to be done on the 28th of February. So I hope you join us at that time. I enjoy doing these with you. They're a lot of fun. And I hope you enjoy doing them too. But until next time, this is your friendly neighborhood gypsy saying, God bless you and yours. See you later, Gators. Hasta la vista, baby. Bye-bye now.